Greg obviously has, a great understanding of, the SEC in terms of, its future and certainly the present. And so getting that perspective and then being in with the athletic directors and certainly getting, their perspective on a number of different issues. And then as coaches, this is my second time, but, getting an opportunity to hear everybody else's thoughts and feelings about the current things that we're all facing, right? I think, you have your own thoughts and opinions, but when it's shared by everybody in the room, you feel pretty good at the end of the day in terms of where you're at.
What's the biggest topic right now? Is it NIL? Is it scheduling?
I'd say probably NIL, transfer portal, calendar, the calendar, the full calendar, scheduling, and probably, playoffs. I think, and look, that's a lot, right? I mean, we probably could still be in there, but I think that's enough for your head to blow up and leave you, knowing that you're in the SEC, and in my opinion, in a conference that can obviously on a, I don't know if there's, for me being a conference member, I think it's clearly the best conference. But when you have the ability to, make a difference with a lot of the important pieces that are out there, you leave at the end of the day going, we can make some pretty strong statements about, what we do as a conference after this conference.
I think the SEC only playoff, we heard that bandied about as a potential down the road. Would that ever be realistic? You have thought on that?
That was, certainly something that Greg talked about. I don't know. Look, these are some of the conversations that, we threw around in the room, but again, I think he's left it open for when he gets to June, where they begin some conversations again with the other conference commissioners. So I think it's really much more about where this moves with Greg moving forward.
What do you thought? You only expanded the possibility of expanding the college football playoff. I mean, coming to the SEC, Coach Saban said, you lose a couple of games and someone else could go undefeated.
I've always been in favor of it. I don't think that's changed much since I've come to the SEC. I've always felt like college football would be better, with at least 12 teams. I just think it opens up more access. If Appalachian State was playing Louisiana, I mean, U of L, they got a chance to get into the college football playoffs. I think that's good. I think more access is better in a time like now in college football. So I've always been in favor of that access being much more than just 4.
Have there been any surprises, I guess, for you, in this transition? I know you've been pretty successful everywhere you've been, but this
to Louisiana?
Yeah, just the job, just the job coaching LSU.
I loved it. I mean, I think I'm a bit surprised that I've enjoyed just the state, and the people. It's been fun. I mean, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed the players. Just the, there's just, look, it's the state capital. There's just a lot going on. It's an invigorating environment for me. So, yeah, I'm having fun.
What would you like to see happen with NIL? One of the other coaches said, "There's no rules, there's no guardrails. It has to be something."
I mean, So, look, I'm for name, image, and likeness, but I'm for it at the spirit of what it was intended for. I don't know that we were ever in this place that we wanted to see amateurism so distorted that it would move towards professionalism. And it just seems like that's what's happened here. I think what I'm more interested in is developing something that is sustainable, that is something that we can educate, our players on, and something that is equitable across the board. So that's what I've been working on, to have something in place that can meet that kind of criteria. But this has turned into a runaway train that has moved well past a student athlete and is moving too fast towards, a professional, contract. And I don't think that's what the intention was. So we're going to need some guidelines here before this gets, thrown into Congress.
Is that the most challenging thing? Is there's not like a simple solution for this. There's so many different factors you've got to consider that you can't just say we'll do this. It's whack-a-mole. You whack something.
And throw the
else
transfer portal into it, right? And then, I know the NCAA has kind of come out, softly about boosters, but throw that into it. Boosters have never been allowed to be part of this. Now all of a sudden it's okay to have a collective, right? And so you're thinking like, this is my 32nd year of doing this, and now it's okay. Booster, you can get him. It's okay. So it just doesn't make sense to me really, and so I think it's really just about how can we reel this in, make sure that the student athletes have the ability to be educated, so they have something that they can build on later. And I think that's what we're all trying to get our hands on. Can we get boosters out of this? That would be my first thing. Can we add more transparency to what some of these contracts look like? And those are the pieces that are in front of us right now.
Brian, is it possible for just the market to kind of even things out a little bit over a couple of years?
Certainly, yeah. I mean, I think that certainly could be the case. And so, and what is real and what is fiction, right? Like I could say whatever I want, right? Or maybe a young man could say whatever he wants. Oh yeah, I was offered $1.5 million to come to this school. You better get on board,
right?
Or you're not gonna get me. Or maybe somebody's helping them say that. Remember now, there's a lot of different moving parts here. So I think we have to kind of get past this early part, and it's up to coaches to make good decisions and stick with what you believe in. And I know after doing it for 3 decades that I want my locker room right, and I want equity, and I want balance, and I still want to be able to educate our players and help them with their name, their image, and likeness. But we're not going to pay them. They're student athletes. Because if we go down that road, then aren't they really professionals? I'm a professional, in that respect. They're student athletes.
Then you go down the collective bargaining road.
Then it's a whole different thing. Then they're contracts, right? Then they have a contract. And I don't think they want contracts, because I don't think they want to be traded. I'm sure they don't want to be cut. I'm sure they're not going to like getting a call at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and say, hey, I don't know, but we traded you today to St. Bonaventure. And they don't have a football team either.
Turn into playbook.
Yeah, exactly.
Two more before you got transparency to this, because you mentioned before about kid can say I'm making 1.5, and other ones you have no idea if they are. Like, how do we get transparency around that beyond people just saying what they are?
Well, there's agents involved now, and so that becomes a competitive marketplace. So the transparency will have to happen within conferences, and this is the best conference in the country. Maybe we can set that standard.
You brought a different dynamic coming in the league as the winningest coach in Notre Dame. What do you think about the rest of the show to speak? I mean, you've seen the Jimbo Saban exchange of words. I'm sure you've seen plenty of Lane Kiffin on social media. Just coming in from the outside into this, what's the takeaway?
I have a great deal of respect for everybody in that room. I mean, some of that is, I think a little bit, they have respect for each other as well. They're very competitive, and I think Nick apologized, and but they're all good people. They all work hard. They all care about the student athletes. But you know, like I said, I think it's the best conference in the country, the SEC. You got great coaches that care about their players, and you know, I think it made good coverage in media, but they weren't wrestling in there. I can tell you that. There was no
Is the
wrestling.
worst part about being in a conference you have to deal with the commissioner now?
No,
Over your shoulder?
Oh, Sankey's right here. He probably, yeah, it's
Media setting him up.
no, he's been great.
Yeah, it's like a softball.
Yeah, exactly, no doubt. No, he sets a great tone. So I think he started with it's not like it's not like it used to be. It's probably never going to be, but it doesn't have to be like it is right now, and that's where we can make a difference. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.